you guys were telling me that you've seen some of this footage. When I asked you, you'd seen it somewhere else. Where have you seen it before?
So I was shown it in school, or like something similar in school, because we have this thing where people can show things they've watched over the week or a thing that interests them. And one of my vegan friends showed this, so we watched it in class, and it's really good, yeah.
And when you watched that footage, I'm assuming it was similar to these animals kind of being exploited, brutalized, killed. How did it make you feel?
It made me feel guilty that I grew up eating meat all the time, and then recently I've started to eat less and less meat and go for vegan options because I'm friends with vegans, and it makes it easier, and I just feel like there's so much I can do, and it made me feel guilty for not doing more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and can you maybe describe what it was that generated that guilt inside of you when you saw that?
Yeah, I think it's seeing the lack of respect or lack of regard for the feelings of animals. So in videos like that, they're just thrown around or treated horribly, and it just, I don't know, doesn't seem right, really. I don't think.
And same thing, so did you see the footage in the same place or in a different context?
I saw the footage in school as well in one of my geography classes because we were learning about food around the world, and it was really horrible because we were seeing cow skin and being thrown around and stuff. It wasn't nice.
So we do this a lot. We have a lot of conversations with people just trying to kind of open their minds. And there are people that we talk to that believe that there's a good way to kill animals. What's your take on that? Would you agree with that? Would you disagree? I'm curious about the non-vegan perspective.
No, I don't think there's a right way to kill an animal. I think it's horrible either way. Then obviously I'm not vegan, so I feel like saying that contradicts me not being vegan, but I'm working towards it. I'd like to be vegan, but I think that I don't think that's the right way to kill an animal.
Okay, and what would you say?
I don't think it's right to kill anything, animal or human. I don't think it's okay.
Okay, so then I think a lot of people would agree, if they're not feeling defensive, their egos are down. I think most people would agree that killing an animal unnecessarily is wrong, right? And I think that most people also today would agree that we don't need animal products to survive, right? You guys would agree with that. Obviously, we have some vegans, lots of vegans around here. So what do you think, well, first of all, what do you think, and this is a question for any of you guys, what do you think led to this happening, to all of this brutal, torture and cruelty and killing? How do you think we've gotten to this point as a society?
I mean, I think definitely social media has it's just spread so much more awareness. I think probably 5 years ago, obviously I would have been younger, but most people wouldn't have even known what veganism is, but thanks to social media you have these massive influencers who promote it and that kind of thing, for sure.
Yeah. Social media is definitely helping to shine a spotlight on it, which I think is what's starting this boom in veganism. Yeah. What do you think led to this happening in the first place? How did we get to a point as humans who, I think humans are generally good people. I know we suffer from our issues, but generally we don't like seeing animals suffer, yet we were doing this to billions and billions, tens of billions of animals every year, actually trillions if you include marine animals. So how do you think we got to this point within humanity that we allowed ourselves to do this?
I think it's humans exploiting things where they can, if that makes sense. So it's an easy option, it's easy, and they make a lot of money off the meat industry and the dairy industry, and I think it's a perfect example of humans thinking that they're the most powerful and the best and exploiting things that they think are lesser, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you heard of the term speciesism?
Yeah.
Have you come across that? Yeah. So what do you think it means?
It's one species treating another species as less than.
Yeah. It's kind of the same concept as racism or sexism, right? It's discrimination based on what we would consider relatively irrelevant characteristics, right? So I guess the question then is, what do you think the solution is? How do we help animals who are suffering in cages and slaughterhouses?
Continue with the social media. Things like this, obviously, because there would have been so many people here, who might not have known about veganism or not have quite understood it properly, and from things like this, been able to understand it more. And yeah, definitely social media. I think that's a massive thing. And then I'd say schools as well, because I'd never I mean, I didn't know that you had seen that in school, and I don't think I know anybody else who ever had. So I think definitely schools and like from a younger age, kind of talking to people about it.
It's funny that you say that. Awareness is definitely one of the what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to raise awareness of the issues. Would either of you ever consider like joining a group like this and coming out and talking to people and connecting with them like we're doing right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd love to.
Yeah, would you guys do it? Yeah. So what's really cool about this is for people to do what I'm doing, which is the outreach part and just chatting with people, you have to be vegan. If you're not vegan yet, you can still participate and you can be in the cube and you can actually hold the laptops and the masks. We need people to do that as well. So here's the last, or maybe one of the last questions for you guys is, what do you see as the biggest challenge for you going vegan? Like, let's say tomorrow you decide, okay, I really want to stop participating in like this kind of cruelty against animals. What would be the hardest thing for you?
I think the hardest thing would be trying to find options that I can make every day. So I still live at home, and my mum is not vegan, she eats meat, and I think the hardest thing would be trying to find alternatives to what she eats that I can also eat every day, if that makes sense.
Well, for me it's because I'm quite a fussy eater in that sense, so I feel like other options would be difficult for me to find because I don't like a lot of food. So, and since I've always grown up eating meat, it's what I'm used to, so I feel like it would be hard for me to eat new things.
So right now, I mean, as a picky eater, what is it that you do? Because I know a lot of people struggle with that. Like, I'm not so much of a picky eater, but if you are, I've talked to people that like they think it's going to be hard. What do you do now to make sure that you're eating foods that you enjoy eating?
Well, sometimes I do try new things if they like look nice and I feel like I want to try them. But well, my mum makes most of my food for me, so sometimes I'll ask her to put new things in so I can eat more stuff.
You have the same meals.
Yeah,
we're sisters, so we live together.
Oh, okay.
My mum will make the same few meals, and we'll have them for a few weeks, and then switch to something else. So that kind of helps.
Yeah.
So here's a question: how would your mom react if you went home and said, "Hey, we want to cut out animal products from what we eat"? How do you think she would react?
I think firstly she'd want to make sure that we were still getting everything that we needed to get, so like protein and fibre and carbohydrate and all that. So, but I think she'd be okay with it afterwards. Like, she'd just want to make sure that we had a plan for how we were going to get everything that we needed to get.
How would you go about doing that?
I'd do research on things that, foods that have protein in that aren't meat, or foods that have dairy in that aren't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's what I would say.
No, it's one of the benefits of having computers and cell phones at our fingertips is like we can research anything.
Yeah.
So if I gave you a card that had a ton of really good information, which maybe you guys have already seen, but I can make sure I can give you some stuff that maybe some resources you haven't seen, would you guys check it out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Okay, here, let's see if I can pull out 4 cards at once. Did I get 4? Get out of here. I've been doing this too long. Wow. That was actually pretty cool. I got 4 cards in one. So yeah, I guess do you guys have any questions about the actual process of going vegan? How do you see that looking for you? What does the process look like? I'm assuming that you guys, especially being friends and based on this conversation, we're all agreed that this is bad. We need to stop this, right?
Yeah.
So what does that process look like for you? Kind of over the next few weeks, how would you start eliminating animal products?
Well, I've already started. So my older sister stopped eating dairy a while ago, and since she did that, I've started to drink, soy milk instead of normal milk, and I've started to go for options that don't have dairy in. So I've already kind of started, but then it just goes to trying foods like tofu and things that don't have meat in.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that I will do at some point in the future.
Have you tried tofu that you've liked so far?
I've never tried tofu.
You know what's really funny? When I was eating meat, if you had mentioned the word tofu, I would have been like, ew. And I never tried it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, it's just instinct, ugh.
Yeah.
And now there's delicious, because, okay, let's be real, right? Everything that we eat, meat or tofu or whatever, what makes it taste good is not the thing itself usually, it's the seasoning, it's whatever you put on it, right? So I don't like eating lettuce straight, but if I season a salad, I can make a salad taste delicious, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's just so you'd be willing to try that, try preparing different foods.
Yeah. I enjoy cooking, so I like to do that.
Oh my God. Okay, so again, I would say buy a recipe book, but
Yeah.
if you don't want to pay for a book, maybe that's a good present to ask for if you enjoy cooking. But you can always go online and just Google search vegan lasagna, for example. I
Yeah.
love lasagna, or vegan whatever. You guys live in London?
We're from Manchester.
Manchester, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, still very good access to vegan
Yeah,
options
yeah.
in supermarket. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for chatting with us. Thank you guys for being vegan. Yeah. Oh, one last thing on the card. I would strongly suggest this for you guys. If you're going to try to do this, is check out this challenge. Where is it over here? Vegan 22.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of this?
No, I haven't.
So Vegan 22, this is a great thing, a great resource for all your friends and family if they want to ever try going vegan. It's a free mentorship where you get paired up with someone who can give you all the advice, tips, challenges, so they'll guide you. Like, if you have any questions, you just ask them. What should I eat? What can I buy? There's like meal challenges. So again, to someone that likes cooking, you'll enjoy that. And then try it out for 22 days.
Yeah.
Do you know why it's 22 days? Have you ever heard how long it takes to develop a new habit? Now, there's some like theory that says 21 days to develop a new habit. So if you do something repeatedly for 22 days, and you're going to do it 3 times a day because you're going to eat, it's all about developing new habits. How long have you been vegan?
Year and a half.
Year and a half? Do you struggle? Is it really, really difficult to be vegan?
fine,
Right.
yeah.
Well, most people think that it's so hard, right? Why? I would have thought the same because I hadn't tried it, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys think that once you develop new habits, it's not
I
going to be
think
that
it'll
hard?
be easy when you get into the habit of it.
You
Yeah.
have friends like
Exactly.
yeah. So guys, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for talking to us and appreciate it. Have a good day. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.